Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, 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 Zimbabwe. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Of course, depending on the time that you are watching this podcast. My name is Dr. Charlie, TSBD, the Small Business Doctor. It is my pleasure to welcome you to ZEE. It stands for Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. Yes, you got that right. Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. And our payoff line is Connect, Inspire, and Transform, which is KIT. Connect, Inspire, and Transform. This is our latest innovation in the market, of course. But before I proceed to tell you why I'm so excited, let us spare a few moments to look at our environment. Just hang in there. Good day. Thank you very much for joining me on this platform. My name is Dr. Charlie, TSBD, the Small Business Doctor. Before we proceed with today's show, why don't we commit just a few seconds to look into the crucial importance of our environment? We prioritize entrepreneurship with sustainability. So please just hang in there, we'll soon be done. Indeed, our environment is of paramount importance. Whatever you do as an entrepreneur in agriculture, mining, construction, transport, retail, trading, wholesaling, all services, we encourage you to practice entrepreneurship with sustainability and pass on this environment in good steps to future generations for better use. That's exactly what we do with all our brands: VCCI, EIZ, SBGZ, SFS, and SBGA. Just marvel at the fluffy clouds on high, the beautiful waterfalls, and of course the still waters, the amazing duck swimming across the land, the cattle and the deer grazing. Above is the beautiful scenic Xmas Pass in Mutare, Manicaland, Zimbabwe. My name is Dr. Charlie. I want to encourage you to avoid cutting trees and polluting our cities, but practice entrepreneurship with sustainability. Thank you for listening and enjoy your show. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators, ZEE. My name is Dr. Charlie, TSBD, the Small Business Doctor. I am so excited. And if you watched the first episode, you know why I'm excited. Just to do a recap, this is the first of its own kind innovation which we are introducing into our market as Entrepreneurship Institute of Zimbabwe, EIZ. Now, what are we introducing? We are introducing the first of its kind academic networking platform, which is a think tank, and we call it Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. And the payoff line there is connect, inspire, and transform. Of course, we exist to network and share knowledge and experiences to advance entrepreneurship and enterprise education in Zimbabwe. Let me take that again. Existing to network, share knowledge and experiences so as to advance entrepreneurship and enterprise education in Zimbabwe. Of course, we are very much inspired by our very own National Education 5.0 policy, for which, if you remember, we have added two more things which are very important, summarizing them as commercialization and industrialization, for which entrepreneurship, new venture creation are quite pivotal. And for that reason, you and I agree, as long as you are in Zimbabwe, you and I agree, you know very well that entrepreneurship has become a very, very important and crucial module, which is now university wide or college wide. The whole idea is to inculcate entrepreneurial skills, entrepreneurial behaviors, coach and mentor so that college and university students can actually more successfully start their own new businesses, especially whilst they are still on campus, which in my earlier episode I was actually indicating that this still remains not so much fulfilled objective. Not many of our colleges and universities are actually at that stage where a significant proportion of their students are now starting their new ventures while still at college or universities. Okay, but I know it's good that we have started, and I know that within the shortest period of time we should be hitting the preferred objectives there. Now, to participate in Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators, all you need to do is to become a member, and it's very simple. You have to be an entrepreneurship and enterprise educator, obviously, either in college or in university. And that's 36 US dollars per year. When you look at it, this is quite affordable. Divide that by 12. This is 3 US dollars per month, which is less than the amount of money which you spend for your WhatsApp data. So you have no excuse there for you not to be a professional member of Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. Membership individual is also open to professionals, those that are in the private sector. It is very, very important because remember, our entrepreneurship and enterprise outlook and impact is not only a result of the entrepreneurship and enterprise education, but it is also a result of what is actually taking place in the industry. So we are looking at the theory practice convergence or theory practice gap. Theory practice convergence or theory practice gap. So it is important to rope in our professional individuals in industry, and obviously they will also subscribe 36 US dollars per year. And then there is the institutional membership, where we are saying our colleges, our universities, by colleges, whether it's teachers college, polytechnic, vocational, as long as you are teaching entrepreneurship and enterprise education, you qualify to become a member of Z, which is Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. And those of you who managed to participate in our recent Sanganai, Shanganani, Kumbanai, in our Venezuela, say Kumbanai, okay, expo in Manicaland in Mutare. It was quite lovely, and I remember the beach party there in Birchnough Bridge. It was really, really exciting. Those of you who were following up, even if you did not attend, you remember we now have what we call Zimbo. So just borrowing on that, We are saying Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators, which is Z. So Z-Bo, Z-Bo. It is lacquer to be part and parcel of Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. So we are really looking forward to our academic institutions. And when you look at 500 US dollars per year, again, this is quite affordable, because this is when you look at the tuition fees for all our universities, this is quite lower than the tuition fee of a single student when you combine all the ICT fees, technology fee, library fee, and stuff like that. Okay, so this is just one student, almost three quarters of the fees payable by a single student, so that you can become a member of Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. And the beauty about that is that you are not just a member who is just going to to be following events, but actually you are going to actively participate in shaping and forming entrepreneurship and enterprise education agenda, and you're going to actually shape our trajectory as a nation. And I'm going to give you more detail about that, why I'm saying you are not just joining as someone who is just following or a bystander. So there's every reason actually to join there. And before I give you more information about that, there is an upcoming conference, the Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Educators Conference, right? That is next year in April. It's a 3-day conference on the 8th, 9th, and the 10th of April 2026. Yes, we don't stop. We are already scheduling the agenda, because this is how, as a Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators Network, this is how we are going to shape the discourse for our entrepreneurship and enterprise education. It is through workshops, through symposiums, through seminars, through conferences, through research. So that's why I said you are not going to be a bystander, but you are going to actively participate. And guess what? Actually, your college, your university can actually volunteer to host some of these workshops, some of these seminars, some of these symposiums, and some of these conferences. And the first inaugural conference is going to be held in Harare along Samora Machel at Tel One Learning Center, just next to Harare Agricultural Show. We all know Harare Agricultural Show. So make a date, budget, become a member, and make your provisional booking right now for the Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Enterprise Educators Conference. And the theme there is exploring entrepreneurship education in Zimbabwe towards Vision 2030. Exploring entrepreneurship education in Zimbabwe towards Vision 2030. I'll be giving you in another episode more details about the themes in so that it can guide you in terms of preparing your abstract and becoming a speaker or a presenter at this conference. Continuing, here's another evidence to show that when you become a professional member of Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Educators, you are not just an onlooker, but you're going to actively take part in what is happening. So one way of actively taking part is joining the Z research groups. You are going to join the Z research groups. So here are some of the research groups that we have just decided to brainstorm and share with you. By no means these are not at all exhaustive. If there is a specific research group that you are interested in, for as long as it comes under entrepreneurship education, enterprise education, please just get in touch with me. So I'll just go through some of the research groups. So what we are saying is, once you become a member as an individual, academic or professional who is interested in entrepreneurship, enterprise education. You can then choose to join any one of these research groups or research communities if you like. For instance, you could then become a member of the Entrepreneurship Policy and Regional Development. What it means is you are interested in spending your academic prowess, your academic knowledge, your research. You are interested in spending time, effort to collaborate and delve into engaged scholarships with fellow academics so that you can advance entrepreneurship policy and regional development in our beautiful motherland, Zimbabwe, Zimbo. Okay. The next one there is entrepreneurship impact theory and practice gap. The whole idea is, why do we do entrepreneurship and why do we teach entrepreneurship education and enterprise? Obviously, so that at the end of the day we can impact on the social economic front. So the thing is, you are interested in saying or in interrogating the impactful of entrepreneurship and enterprise education. How impactful is it? And you are also querying the theory practice gap. Okay. The other one there is social and sustainable entrepreneurship. Nowadays, a global agenda relates to the environment, sustainability, and governance. So, this is again the same thing: environment, sustainability, and governance. And here you are saying, in terms of entrepreneurship, whether it's opportunity, whether it's necessity, and the different dimensions of entrepreneurship, what you are saying is, how sustainable is it? We are looking at posterity. To what extent are we engaging in entrepreneurship such that we are also passing this beloved Zimbabwe to future generations, and being guided, of course, by environment, sustainability, and governance? So, if you are interested, that's one research group that you can join. Another one is women entrepreneurship. You are now looking at issues of gender. Why? Because historically, women have always been overlooked or underexplored, so to speak, in terms of their competencies. Men have always crowded out the influence and the impact of women. And yet, when you look in our population, not only in our population, but globally, women command a significant proportion in terms of the population worldwide. So, women entrepreneurship. What is it that is about entrepreneurship which is unique to women? So, if you are interested, you can join this research group. Then, youth entrepreneurship. There is no need for me to elaborate now. You understand, obviously, you are a seasoned academic. You understand what it means to say a research group. Another word of a research group is focus area. Another word is a special interest, scholarship interest group, whichever way you call it. So, there you are. Youth entrepreneurship, you could join that. Rural entrepreneurship, because there's a difference between urban entrepreneurship and rural entrepreneurship. So these are the different dimensions. So rural entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial finance, entrepreneurship and enterprise education and research. Here you are now looking at the extent to which we are actually deepening our research around entrepreneurship education, enterprise education, and of course, creating synergies with industry. Okay. Some of the additional research focus groups there are entrepreneurship and technology. Again, this is a very, very, very interesting theme. You and I know very well that we are now talking of generative artificial intelligence, your chat GP, and you know them all. So technology there, you are now talking of blockchains, cryptocurrencies. So what we are saying is, if you are interested in entrepreneurship and technology, you could join this research focus group. Then there's entrepreneurship strategy, ambidexterity, and SME growth. Ambidexterity, you and I know what it means. For example, a person who can either use left hand or right hand, but in strategy, we are now saying what's best to focus and ring fence on your current market, or to take the risk and then explore. So we normally talk about exploitation and exploration, and that's ambidexterity, but it is easier said than done. So look at ambidexterity in the context of nascent entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, you and I, if you are an entrepreneurship scholar, you know very well that there is that slight difference between an entrepreneur and an SME owner manager. So discuss, explore ambidexterity within the context of an entrepreneur, within the context of an SME owner manager, within the context of a business manager, within the context of a corporate manager. All these things, entrepreneurship, corporate entrepreneurship, strategy, and the ultimate SME growth. So if you are interested, you can join this research focus. Then there's also entrepreneurial cognition, learning, and behavior. And then you are talking there about entrepreneurial passions, opportunity, and how do you create or discover them. Remember the theories, you could either create an opportunity or discover an opportunity. So there, opportunity creation or opportunity discovery. So if you are interested, you join this theme. Then there's entrepreneurial ecosystem. All of us, we are an ecosystem. Yes, we are entrepreneurship enterprise educators, but we do not alone constitute the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Of course, there is the government, there are banks, the insurance companies, there is the civic sector. So if you are interested in exploring entrepreneurial ecosystem, then you join that research group. Then there is entrepreneurship, startups, and new venture management. So here you are interested in the whole process of innovation, creativity, business idea generation, leading to new startups, and how these new ventures can best be managed. And there is entrepreneurship and economic shocks. What comes to my mind is issues to do with entrepreneurial resilience, entrepreneurial passion. Okay, another theme there that I did not write, which is just coming to my mind because I've mentioned about entrepreneurial passion and resilience, coming to my mind is an entrepreneur driven by entrepreneurial passion. They can continue to go on and go on and go on, and you know what happens, risking even their health, overdoing everything. So another theme could be entrepreneurial health, entrepreneurial health and sustainability, if you want. So that can be another theme. That's why I'm saying these themes are not exhaustive. So if you have additional ones and you say, let us have this particular theme, well, welcome on board. Or if you think others, these are too many, they should be combined again, we are open to your suggestions and contribution. The whole idea is, if you are an entrepreneurship and enterprise educator in our motherland, Zimbabwe, here is a great opportunity for you to come and join hands with fellow entrepreneurship and enterprise educators, so that together we can more vibrantly and comprehensively drive the entrepreneurship agenda in our country, so that together we can more successfully advance our national education 5.0 policy. Having said this, it leads me to again summarize the opportunities that are there. So here are the opportunities. So there is the Z community opportunity. In other words, there is this great opportunity to become part and parcel of a robust and vibrant entrepreneurship and enterprise educators community. Just becoming a member, isn't it? We say birds of the same feathers perambulate in close what? Proximity to one another. So you become part and parcel of this vibrant academic community. That's not the only opportunity. There's also an opportunity to become a community leader. Remember, I was just telling you, go walking you through the different research groups that you can potentially choose to join. Again, there are leadership roles. For example, if you decided to join entrepreneurship policy and regional development, then there is a role to be the chair of that research focus group. And this enhances your CV because you are the president or you are the chairperson of that research team and you are driving it together with your community members. There's also the vice chair, okay, for that research track. And there is also the committee members. So two people, chairperson, vice chairperson, and five committee members. So when you look at this, this is really exciting. That's why we are saying join any one of the Z research groups that I've mentioned as a special Z research group community. You then volunteer to become one of the leaders or get elected into leadership roles. Required are the chairperson, the vice chairperson, as well as five committee members. That's making a leadership team of seven academics who are passionate to drive the research agenda within their research community. And once we do that, at the end of the day, we are going to promote Zimbabwean entrepreneurship and enterprise education and ultimately more successfully and effectively advance our national education 5.0. So what are you still waiting for? I want to invite you to join Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Educators. As I come to a close, let me just recap again. We exist as Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Educators to network, share knowledge and experiences to advance entrepreneurship and enterprise education in Zimbabwe. If you're an academic teaching enterprise and entrepreneurship education, or if you are in the private sector and interested in entrepreneurship and enterprise education, then you can become a member at only 36 US dollars per year, which is 3 US dollars per month, far less than the amount of WhatsApp that you can buy for your data. And then there you have the academic institution, companies, NGOs. You can also become members at only 500 US dollars per year. And when you look at it, this is just close to about 3/4 of a single university student tuition fees. Again, showing or demonstrating how affordable it is for our college and universities to become members of Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Educators. And with that said, let me come to an end. For you to join or to get in touch with me, please, the email address there is zee@sbgazim.com. zee@sbgazim.com. You can also get in touch with me on +263 77 335 3800. +263 77 335 3800. My name is Dr. Charlie, TSBD, the Small Business Doctor, and I'm the lead consultant for Entrepreneurship Institute of Zimbabwe, which is bringing you this Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators, a high profile network platform for all our entrepreneurship and enterprise educators in Zimbabwe. Now, in closing, why don't you share with me your comments, your feedback? What do you think about this video? What do you think about Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators? What do you think about becoming a professional member? I really value your feedback. And one thing, please share this video with all your friends, with all your key contacts. throughout your digital space, be it Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or LinkedIn. Share that. When you do this, you help spread the gospel of this very, very important agenda for Zimbabwe entrepreneurship educators. And above all, click the subscriber button so that you become the first to get notified each time I release podcasts like this. With that said, everything's settled and done. My name, Dr. Charlie, TSBD, the small business doctor. I sign off. Peace.